The Rajasthan government is holding a cabinet meeting to discuss points raised by Governor Kalraj Mishra for convening a sessions of the State Assembly. The Congress government has been constantly demanding that a session of the House should be called. Confident of its numbers in the Assembly, the party is pushing for a floor test in the Assembly in the wake of a power tussle between Gehlot and former Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot. The governor on Monday agreed to call a session but asked the state government for a fresh proposal addressing his three conditions: a 21-day notice for sitting of the House, live streaming of floor test, and ensuring social distancing in view of the COVID-19 outbreak. In Rajasthan, a cabinet was held at the Rajasthan Chief Minister's residence to discuss points raised by the Governor Kalraj Mishra for calling a State Assembly session. Chaired by Gehlot, the meeting was called for discussing the points which were raised by Governor on Monday. Governor Mishra, after much delaying, gave his note to the Assembly session, though putting forth conditions to be satisfied by the Gehlot government, which is facing a rebellion from now sacked Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot and 18 other dissident MLAs. Conceding that securing a vote of confidence can be a reasonable ground for calling an assembly session on short notice, Mishra yesterday said that revised cabinet recommendations does not mention it. Accordingly, he returned the cabinet recommendations and sought another recommendations for the purpose, incorporating a 21-day notice period for calling the session for a floor test, a Raj Bhavan statement said. In a related development, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot wrote to President Ramnath Kovind and spoke to Prime Minister Narendra Modi about Governor Kalraj Mishra's conduct. Quoting a media article, Gehlot said, "This was the first time in 70 years that such a thing has happened." Gehlot has asked the President to intervene in the situation and ensure that the Assembly be started immediately, saying it was the constitutional right of the Chief Minister. Meanwhile, three former law ministers, Kapil Sibal, Salman Khurshid and Ashwani Kumar, has written to Rajasthan governor asking him to stick to the rules. A governor is bound to act on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers in convening the Assembly. Any deviations from the established constitutional positions would be avoidable negations of your oath of office and will create constitutional crisis, the letter read. The crisis in the Rajasthan government started earlier this month as Sachin Pilot openly rebelled after long-time frictions with his former boss Ashok Gehlot. The trigger was a summons for questioning in the alleged horse trading by the BJP ahead of the Rajya Sabha elections. Gehlot alleged that he had evidence of Pilot's involvement in the BJP plot to topple his government. Bureau Report.